The markets moved to the highest point of the day with the Sensex and the Nifty gaining 0.3% each. IT and FMCG have notched gains while financials and auto stocks are seeing a bit of a drag. The midcaps are outperforming.
Cabinet clears a gaming bill that calls for a ban on all online money gaming. While the bill will need to pass through Parliament and may require states' assent, the move spooks gaming players like Nazara Tech.
Sources say that the cabinet has approved the acquisition of 97 LCA Mark 1A fighter jets from Hindustan Aeronautics worth 62,000 crore rupees. The win helps the defence aviation major achieve its FY26 order book target of 2.5 lakh crore rupees.
After Jio moves its 1 GB plan off its online platform, Bharti Airtel follows by scrapping its 1 GB entry plan. The initiative highlights increasing data usage and raises the potential for ARPU improvement going forward.
Good afternoon, you're with us here on Business Lunch. We are coming to you live from the CNBC TV18 Motilal Oswal studios. I am Hormas Patakia. With me as always is Vamakshi Thoria. Vamakshi, good afternoon. Well, that final 25,000 mark is finally conquered as of now. We have to mention that as of now is more important. You still have a couple of hours to go for the trading session. The Nifty Bank, though, is being a bit of a drag on the indices today. But the broader markets are doing well. The midcap index is up 100 points. The Nifty is above the 25,000 mark. What was anticipated to be a test of the 4-day rally, the bulls so far have passed that test.
Well, absolutely, Hormas. Good afternoon to you. And, well, you know, third time's the charm. Yes, we did manage to cross the 25,000 mark on Monday as well as on Tuesday. But, you know, we could not sustain above that. And today we're seeing, you know, the Nifty sustaining about the 25,000 mark very comfortably. The midcap end of the market, though, is doing fairly well. The midcap index is up almost 0.5% at the highest point of the day as well. The advance decline ratio is largely in favor of the advances as is being shown by the midcap index as well. Now, you know, in terms of, you know, what's actually pushing the index higher, it's the IT stocks. Take a look at Infosys. That stock is up almost 3.3%. Coforge, Infosys, all of these counters are surging higher in trade today, and that in turn is driving the Nifty higher. And keep in mind that over the last couple of sessions, we had not seen any contribution coming in from the IT pack. So therefore, this move is very important. The FMCG pack also continues to, you know, push the index higher with names like Colgate-Palmolive, Marico as well, Hindustan Unilever, all seeing gains upwards of almost 2%, Hormas.
The consumption names continuing to do fairly well. Look at Marico at the highest point of the day, HUL at the highest point of the day, Colgate is at the highest point of the day. Good moves seen, and a proxy for the consumption bit is that the hotel stocks are doing very well for themselves as well, be it the likes of Chalet Hotels. Chalet Hotels is up almost 6%. Indian Hotels is doing well, 4.5% at the highest point of the day. And Lemon Tree too. Lemon Tree is also trading with gains of around 4%. So it is the hotel names that are doing well as well. So this broad consumption theme is the one that is dominating today's proceedings. Of course, can't not talk about Ola Electric. That stock is up 14%. And we spoke about, Sudarshan was highlighting since the morning as to how the delivery volumes have been on the higher side. The trading volumes too have been on the higher side today. But what's not doing well, though, is Nazara. Was not doing well since the morning, is not doing well today as well, and is continuing to hold on to those losses. And that is, of course, our top story for today, with the IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav introducing the proposal which seeks to promote and regulate online gaming, including esports, educational games and social gaming, while imposing strict curbs on online money games. Now, as a result of this, Nazara, as we just mentioned, is down over 6.5% after this bill was up. Of course, much before this bill was approved by the cabinet yesterday and has been now tabled in Parliament as well. But earlier today, we did speak to Nitish Mittersain, who is the joint managing director and CEO at Nazara Technologies. Listening to what he had to say.
There was no contribution, absolutely no contribution of real money gaming revenues in this financial performance. What that really means is that even going forward, since we are not having any contribution by real money gaming in our financial numbers that we report, there is no disturbance or issues with what we will report going forward, and the company continues to grow strongly, profitably. Now, we do have an investment in Moonshine Technologies, which runs PokerBaazi. We own 46 odd percent in the company. And it's speculative now because we don't know what is the content of the bill. But if there is a move, as media has reported, to ban uh, online money, real money gaming, then of course that particular investment could potentially be at risk. If you see our recent acquisitions that we've done in the last year or so have all been focused on the core gaming IP business, which is a very profitable, very cash flow generative business. We generate through games that are popular all over the world. And that's already something we've been very focused on. In recent commentary, also, we've said we're doubling down our focus on core gaming IP. So I think we already have, a very strong pathway for growth. We're already delivering it. As you saw this quarter, we delivered 100% year-on-year growth. And I don't think our strategy changes at all at this point of time. We are very happy with the core gaming studios that we have been buying. Our recent acquisitions, whether it's Fusebox Games that we did earlier in the year or last year, I think, and Curve Games recently have been performing extremely well. So we are kind of, emboldened to do more aggressively go down this path. We may go up to 500, 700 crore type of transactions. But our sweet spot right now is in that 200-300 crore zone.
Well, absolutely. That was the management of Nazara Tech. But, let's also bring in Vinny, who's here to tell us, about this entire development and the impact that it has on the company. Vinny, over to you.
Absolutely. Like you just heard the management as well. The main thing and the impact, if this actually goes through in terms of a ban for online gaming, real money gaming, then the concern comes in on that investment that they've made of 800 crores and Moonshine Technologies. Now, obviously, as of now, they have 46% stake, right, in Moonshine Technology. So it's an associate company. It's not a subsidiary. So it's not a part of their revenue. And that's what the management highlighted, that it is not included in the revenue in Q1 of FY26 or previous year as well. So revenue will not be impacted. But what comes in as a concern will be on the balance sheet front, that if they have to start writing off this business, if this business is, absolutely redundant going forward because of this bill, then that is the main concern, that 800 crores plus 200 around odd other crores that they have as CCPs, which they will be converting to equities in the next 2-3 years. So that is the concern that comes in. Now, Prabhudas Leeladhar has also said that if online real money games get banned, then the investment in Pokerbazi, Moonshine Technologies, that's the big risk that comes in for the company. And that forms around Pokerbazi, forms around 35% of their SOTP valuation. So clearly, we'll see a reduction then coming in target prices of all these analysts as well. And that's a big concern that they are watching out for. And that is why the stock is under pressure, despite the management clarifying that there is no impact in terms of on the revenue front or the margin front. Concerns come in on the investment and the risk of write-off over there.
Thank you so much for explaining that, Vinny, and putting all of these things into perspective. That explains why the stock is down in trade today. But, staying with, let's also focus in on HEL then. It's the other stock in focus. It gains, as sources indicate, the Cabinet Committee on Security has approved the purchase of 97 LCA Mark 1A fighter jets worth 62,000 crore rupees from the company. Ria brings us more. Ria?
Well, that's right, Vamakshi. As you said, government sources have indicated to us that the CCS has cleared the approval of the 97 LCA Mark 1A aircrafts. The order value for this is expected at rupees 62,000 crores. In terms of the deliveries are expected to take place from the second year of the contract, and around 20 jets are expected to be delivered annually. Now, this new order is in addition to the existing contract of 83 LCA Mark 1A aircrafts that was signed in February of 2021, and the company is currently executing this batch of orders. Now, the current order book of the total 180 units of these LCA aircrafts now stands at about rupees 1.1 lakh crores, and the current delivery schedule for the existing 83 aircrafts, in terms of that, the company is expecting to deliver 12 aircrafts in FY26. Now, when this new order comes in, HAL's total order book will hit about rupees 2.5 lakh crores, and with that, the company will have already met its FY26 order book targets of 2.5 to 2.6 lakh crores. So that is a big positive for HAL. Now, at the end of FY25, the company had also said that they have a very healthy order pipeline of rupees 1 lakh crores. This is including the 97 aircrafts that the LCA aircrafts that we're talking about, and this is expected to materialize over the next 1 to 2 years. So a big order likely for HAL, and the stock is reacting positively, up around 1 to 2% in trade today.
Of the highs of the day is Hindustan Aeronautics. But Riya, thank you for that. And just rounding off the loop on this online gaming space, mind you, Nazara is now at the lowest point of the day, extending its losses, is now down 8% as we speak. And the government sources have now said that the law ensures no criminal liability of users of games. Liability rests only on the companies. Ashmit is joining in with more on this. Ashmit, tell us more. What exactly are your sources telling you?
Well, it's a clear indication by the government that it is not comfortable, it is not happy, and it will not allow online real money gaming applications. In fact, as a part of, we're given to understand, sources tell us that as a preamble of the bill, there are very detailed assessments made about what the psychological, social, financial impact is on the youth, on the disadvantaged section of the population, about how there are deleterious consequences. There are also links made in this bill with issues such as laundering of money, such as terror financing, and on the back of this, there are very, very clear provisions as a part of this bill, which clearly provides that, number one, there will be a bar on any provision of online gaming services, that there'll be a bar on any advertisement or endorsement of such platforms, that there'll also be a bar on any banks or financial institutions from allowing the transfer of funds. And what is important is that under the definitions provided as far as online money games are concerned, it very clearly says, irrespective of whether a game is a game of chance or skill, it will necessarily be included under this prohibition that has been included as a part of this. There are also teeth as a part of this bill. The bill provides in cases of violations of the provisions, it could lead to jail terms as high as 3 years, could lead to penalties as high as 1 crore rupees. And furthermore, the bill also says that companies that are found to be violating these provisions, this law, could also face key management positions. People who are at key decision-making positions are also liable to face action from the government. So clearly the government has its stance clear. It is not happy. It will not permit online money gaming in any shape or form.
Well, Ashmit, thank you so much for that development. Now, moving on, in an exclusive conversation, Ramdev Agarwal, chairman and co-founder of Motilal Oswal Financial Services, told CNBC TV18 that GST changes will have a major impact on manufacturing, specifically sectors like autos and cements. Let's listen in.
Our local economy is slowing down. If you look at, various high frequency, including GST itself, collection 1-2% kind of a net collection growth, your corporate direct tax collection, housing loan growth, which is crazy thing. This country is without houses, and that has grown at about 2-3% only. So clearly, we are in a slowdown mode. This is an opportunity to do real clean sweep. Yeah. Brilliantly, we have executed GST with all the complications, and we have got this collection. We have brought entire real estate, RERA and all. So a lot of reforms have happened. First was the transition from the old system to the new system, which has happened. So that is a one generation reform itself. Now second generation reform is how do you make as a tool of development? See, in the manufacturing, where exactly it will show up is in manufacturing. Because if you keep it 18, then services are more or less at 18. So there I don't see much of change. But in manufacturing, and of that 40-50% is automotive. Now, if you now you should not do tinkering. What I mean tinkering is that motorcycle will be at 100cc will be below this, for 150cc will be there. I think they should not do that. I think the simplification is important. That if you have one rate for low rate for anything, you'll get much more compliance and much more collection.
Ramdev Agarwal in an exclusive conversation with CNBC TV18. Take a short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch on CNBC TV18. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says Trump's talks with the EU leaders and Zelensky yielded a good outcome and spoke on why Russian leader Putin wants the war to end amid the economic impact. Let's listen in.
Both sides are ready for this terrible conflict to end, and one of the ways to make President Putin want it to end is on the economic side. The Russian economy has 20% plus inflation. Right now, it is a war economy. I think more than 25% of the GDP is coming from the military buildup. So, it's a very imbalanced economy. There are the frozen Russian assets. The runoff from those is now being used to finance the war. So, there are a lot of moving pieces here, Joe.
Now, Scott Bessent also added that India is profiteering by buying Russian oil and says that India and China's situation on oil purchases is not the same. Let's listen.
If you go back and look now, I believe India had less than 1% of their oil, 1%, and now I believe it's up to 42. So
wow.
India is just profiteering, or they are just profiteering. They are reselling. They've made $16 billion in excess profits, some of the richest families in India. So this is a completely different thing. Like this India, what I would call the Indian arbitrage, buying cheap Russian oil, reselling it as product, has just sprung up during the war, which is unacceptable.
Well, US President Donald Trump rules out putting US troops on the ground in Ukraine, but says the United States may provide air support as a part of a deal to end the war. CNBC's Sylvia Amaro is here with the details.
President Trump has ruled out putting U.S. troops on the ground as part of security guarantees for post-war Ukraine. Instead, suggesting in an interview with Fox News that Washington could possibly assist by air. Now, Trump again put the onus on Europe, saying Kyiv's allies on the continent would front-load security guarantees. Also, during his interview with Fox and Friends, the U.S. president acknowledged that there is a possibility that Vladimir Putin doesn't want to make a deal to end the war in Ukraine, warning of a rough situation for the Russian president should that be the case. The U.S. president again ruled out Ukrainian membership of NATO, saying Kyiv shouldn't have asked for it. Trump also suggested Ukraine may need to cede the territory, such as the Donbass region, in order to achieve peace, something that the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, has, of course, frequently rejected as a red line as well. Now, the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, also outlined the role that the U.S. could potentially play in the provision of security guarantees to Ukraine. Listen in.
The president has definitively stated U.S. boots will not be on the ground in Ukraine, but we can certainly help in the coordination and perhaps provide other means of security guarantees to our European allies. The president understands security guarantees are crucially important to ensure a lasting peace, and he has directed his national security team to coordinate with our friends in Europe and also to continue to cooperate and discuss these matters with Ukraine and Russia as well.
Now, the White House also reaffirmed efforts to arrange a face-to-face meeting between Zelensky and Putin, with Leavitt saying that the Russian president had promised a direct meeting with his Ukrainian counterpart. Now, one sticking point, however, is where to host such a summit, with Trump reportedly considering Budapest. Switzerland was also suggested by the French president, Emmanuel Macron, with the country's foreign minister saying arranging a summit for peace purposes could be possible. And this is despite Switzerland being a signatory of the International Criminal Court. And of course, Putin, the president of Russia, currently faces an ICICI arrest warrant over the alleged war crimes that of illegally deporting Ukrainian children. Now, Austria is another European nation volunteering to host the talks. So a lot of uncertainty there still in terms of where this meeting might potentially take place.
Sylvia Amaro, thank you for that update. On to India-China ties then. Both countries have agreed to resume direct flight connectivity between the Chinese mainland and India at the earliest. Both sides have also agreed on the finalization of visas to tourists, businesses, media and other visitors in both directions. And they've also agreed to reopening of border trade through the three designated trading points, namely the Lipulekh Pass, the Shipkila Pass and the Nathula Pass. Now, both the countries have agreed to facilitate trade and investment flows through concrete measures. Take a short break. We'll get you more news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, amidst the ongoing monsoon woes, the Chamba district in Himachal Pradesh was hit by twin earthquakes earlier this morning. The first earthquake of a 3.3 magnitude struck Chamba at 3:27 a.m. this morning, and the second quake of a magnitude of 4 rocked the same region at 4:39 a.m. No damages or injuries have been reported so far.
Well, moving on, the National Democratic Alliance's vice presidential candidate C.P. Radhakrishnan has filed his nomination in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Ministers. The announcement was made by J.P. Nadda during a press conference following the party's parliamentary board meeting held in the national capital.
With that, we take your leave on this edition of Business Lunch. From Amakshi and me, thank you for watching. We'll leave you with the Nifty still above the mark of 25,000. Midcap radar on the other side.